please help me welcome up with the topic Applying Toastmaster Skills to Your Life and in the Community, Kyle Restad. Kyle Restad, Applying Toastmaster Skills to Your Life and in the Community.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. We've heard some phenomenal speakers today that helped give us a guidance with their wisdom to become better speakers. But it wasn't until Kat came up here just a minute ago that reiterated the responsibility that we have. If you're sitting in this chair and taking the info that you received and do nothing with it, this night is worthless. I can feel my heart going, and it wasn't until she talked about getting involved in the community, and that can be done many different ways. But I'd like some different ideas on how we can bring Toastmasters to the community. Anyone have any ideas? Or things that you've done to bring Toastmasters into the community? Carl?
With the Boys and Girls Club, there was a young man who won Youth of the Year, and so I went on a number of nights to help him improve his presentation for the following regional competition. So I think we can just, help children become better versed and more confident in their speaking abilities before they get to our stage in life. I mean, there's so much that they can do in all of those younger years and excel by the time they reach Toastmasters and just continually get better and better with each passing year.
So the Boys and Girls Club, an excellent opportunity locally to get involved with some of the phenomenal organizations we have. Anyone have any ideas outside of community relationships?
A couple of months ago, I participated with my son's scout troop and basically gave about a 15-20 minute presentation just for the kids, some basic speech skills, and told them all about Toastmasters. And so for them, it was the first time that they'd really seen the art of speech craft as something that was a definable, learnable, and tangible skill that they could excel with.
Those are both community organizations. The other way we can use it actually is in our workforce. We all know that the unemployment rate is extremely high. That the job market, and have you been job searching recently? We have one job available for hundreds of applicants. We all know that one of the top 5 fears people have is public speaking. So what we're doing in Toastmasters is helping us to differentiate ourselves. So once we get that job, what are some other things that Toastmaster teaches us?
Effective meetings.
Exactly. And also, Renee, who's one of our higher-ups within the division, the leadership skills you get, once you get that job, we don't want to settle for the same mundane thing every time. We want to try and work our way up into higher roles, higher responsibilities. Wiki has mentioned at previous meetings that he used some of the skills from Toastmasters to earn a very large contract for his business, which puts more money in his pocket, which keeps wifey happy, I'm certain. So there's workforce, but I'm going to tell you why I got involved. I lost my grandfather to cancer when I was 3 years old. His wife died of breast cancer 17 years later. She fought it from 1977 to 1994. My mother passed from cancer. She was diagnosed with early stages of cancer and had just finished 6 weeks of radiation when my grandmother had passed away. And yet I'd never done anything to speak out, to share my story, until it happened to me. I was diagnosed with early stages of colon cancer, and it was that time after I had healed that I realized that I had an awesome opportunity to share what I've learned to others that are out there that are scared and alone. So I volunteer actively with the American Cancer Society and have been doing that for years. Started out with very small tasks, helping out where I could. Then as I got involved in Toastmasters, I kept my ears open for opportunities. The fact that we need advocates out there. We all know that budgets to these nonprofit organizations like the Boys and Girls Club all of, libraries, hospitals, schools are being cut. They still have the same demands, maybe even more demands, on fewer resources. So that we're looking for advocates and voices out there that can passionately share the story. So when they're looking for competing donor dollars, me coming in and sharing my story about how it's affected me can help give them a leg up. But I've got to say, when I go in there and I tell my story, it's not for that. It's because I feel a responsibility, having seen my grandmother and my grandfather and my mother in a bad way, as well as many other in here I'm sure have some stories to tell, that I feel it's my responsibility. And that's why I use Toastmasters to help hone my skills. Because honestly, when I get up and start talking about my story, it's very difficult to stick to a script because of all of the emotion, and that's what I'm working through. And I volunteer with 8 organizations. People tell me all the time, you can say no, but I don't know how yet. Whether it's the Boys and Girls Club, COTS, there are some phenomenal organizations that need our help and need our voice. So what I would say to you, examine existing relationships you have. Whether it's schools, whether it's youth activities, what are you passionate about? I guarantee you can make a phone call tomorrow and get a speaking opportunity with whatever group it is. It doesn't have to be a cancer group, it could be a business group. Bruce back here I know is very experienced in Wall Street, and he's a phenomenal resource to groups like that. So what I would say is find your passions, match them up with someone that needs them, and I guarantee you will definitely make a difference. Let's go.